What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy G Waters. We back with another episode, Soul the Streets. This episode, we welcome back the brother, Mr. Smart Guy. Welcome to the show, man.
How you feel, man? How you feel, brother?
I'm feeling blessed, and
Right.
excited to have you back. And we got some shit to talk about.
Oh, I love
So
that. I love it.
let's get into it. So you speak with conviction, not just as a boxer or artist, but as a man with a mission. When did you
Yep.
first realize your voice had purpose beyond entertainment?
Um, I don't think I don't think I never looked at it like that. I never looked at my voice having purpose, or I just would always speak from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it just was kind of like in the early stages, it was like a lot of impulsive reactions to what I would see in the media or what I would experience in my personal life or my personal trauma. And I think that level of transparency and brutal vulnerability resonated with a lot of people, or people who come from a similar background or experiencing, similar, trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would notice. Like, well, damn, I'm not the only person that doesn't have a great relationship with my parents. I'm not the only person who has been in the foster care system. I'm not the only person that has been to prison. I'm not the only person who had to battle, alcoholism or was suicidal. I'm not the only person who was homeless. I'm not the only person who had low self-esteem. And I think speaking about my challenges that I faced during my life, um, resonated with people. And then I started to realize that, wow, a lot of people go through similar struggles and pain.
Okay. Okay. Do you feel chosen for this role, or did you step into it because nobody else was saying the things our community needs to hear?
Nobody, like, anybody that tells you they're chosen, I don't know, man. I feel like those things are not up to the person, right? There's no such thing as a self proclamation, right? Like, I didn't I didn't tell God to make me, you know, um, so black and beautiful. I didn't tell God to right to right. I didn't have no saying those things. So I don't I don't even I don't think I don't view it, I don't look at it like that. Like, being chosen or something like that. I think we find things that we're passionate about, and by being consistent, stubborn, or diligent and indulging in that passion, you start to find how your passion is going to add value to other people,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I never looked at myself as somebody who's chosen,
Chosen.
or yeah.
Okay. A lot
Yeah.
of young black men look up
And
to
being
you. Huh?
and being chosen, or being a leader doesn't mean that you're superior. It means that God actually chose you to have a level of maturity and responsibility to use the gifts that he gave you to help other people. So you're not superior because you feel you're chosen, or even if you are actually chosen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of responsibility that comes with those positions that God gives people who he designs to give those to. And you have to have a level of humility. I don't think I'm humble enough, right? You have to have a level of humility with your talent, with your gifts, with the position or blessings that God gives you. Those are the people that, are chosen, or leaders, or positions of power.
Okay. But a lot of young black men look up to you, not for clout, but for direction. Do you feel responsible for the generation watching you in real time?
Again, it's kind of like the same question, right? Like, do you feel responsible? No, I don't think it's about being responsible. For me, I just want to make sure that I'm staying on the right path. I'm adding as much value as I can, bringing enough information and awareness to the generations that's coming after I'm gone.
Okay. But motivating a whole community isn't light work. What keeps you grounded so the pressure of influence doesn't break you?
So there's no pressure. I think it's only pressure when you're trying to maintain a persona or wear a mask or have a costume that at some point starts to itch your crotch area, right? Like
Mhm.
you got the Superman outfit on, and after a while it gets uncomfortable to wear. I think you don't get burnt out or broken, or you don't break or bend or fold when you're just being your authentic self. And
True.
when God is the anchor, and when God is the foundation, when God is the anchor, you will forever be grounded. When God is your foundation, you will never be broken. And when you place God above what you feel the opinion of man is about you, you're going to always be good. You're not looking for solitude, peace, or validation from man. You're only consulting with your creator when it comes to that. And you're not looking out the window. You're only looking in the mirror. You're only looking in the mirror. You're only looking in, you look inside yourself. You're not looking for external, validation.
Right, right. So if you could put one message in the hearts of young black men today, right now, what one thing that would shift the trajectory, what would it be?
Well, again, I have a mantra, right? And I say all the time, only think about what you want, forget about what you don't want, never speak about what you don't have. Only think about what you want, forget about what you don't want, never speak about, you know, um, what you don't have. And also understanding that how you think creates how you feel becomes an emotion, that emotion becomes a vibration, that vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you, but also repels things away from you. So when you start to display high levels of confidence, high self-esteem, and self-love, the people who don't love you are going to be deterred by the vibration that you're projecting by loving yourself.
Facts, facts. We grew up in cycles: poverty, trauma, silence. What cycle do you feel you were put here to break?
Again, you got to stop asking these self-proclamation questions, right? Because I don't view myself that. It's not about, I don't know what I'm put here for. Only God knows, right?
These are my questions. So I mean, these are just my questions that I have for you. So I can't stop
No,
asking the questions that I already
no, no,
put.
no. But what you can do is you can tailor it, right? So you don't want to be just rigid in asking questions, right? Because it might be something that makes me uncomfortable, might be something I disagree with, might be something that I just have a different perspective, such as this thing of I'm chosen, or I'm responsible for this, or this is what I'm put here to do, this is what I'm breaking, etc., etc. Right?
Mhm.
Uh, God is gonna decide what my trajectory is. God is going to decide what my purpose is. And I'm only listening to God, right? I'm only listening to God, and I'm figuring things out. I didn't have a mother. I didn't have a father. I didn't have nobody in my life to guide me or correct me or confirm ideas or give me inspiration for my gifts or creativity. I had to do all this on my own. And the only assistance I had was with God, right? So I'm not going outside of that. I have to be you gotta be very careful when you say you're doing this or you're gonna stop this. And it's I'm learning every day, right? I'm learning every day. I'm educating myself every day, and I'm consulting with my creator. So I don't think that's the right um question to ask. So I can't even answer that question because it is almost like disrespectful to God, right? Um, because they say man may plot, but God's the best planner, right?
Mhm.
So yeah.
All right. Because I mean, I gave these questions. Your manager asked for these questions, so I sent them to him. So I thought he would have given them to you, so you would have saw them, and y'all would have just let me know which ones not to ask.
Mhm.
But all right, you talk a lot about emotional control. Why is emotional discipline one of the most crucial skills a young black man needs today?
As it's important to understand that we're dealing with systemic racism, we're dealing with white supremacy. No one is going to help us, right? And no one is. When I say no one, I mean people from other cultures, other races. White people's not coming to save us. Chinese people not coming to save us. Asians, Arabs, Russians, Albanians, you name it. Nobody's coming to save us. No one's coming to help us. And it used to be about, good business was it's not about the color of your skin, but it's about aligning interests. You could never align with someone who has an interest to or is interested or invested or has a vested interest in your self-destruction. So white supremacy is about maintaining the white power structure. So we got to understand that we don't have any friends. And it's very important for us to understand CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, understanding mantras, understanding affirmations, and understanding that life rewards those who are self-motivated but punishes everyone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So life is gonna, if you're self-motivated, you're gonna get rewarded. If you're not, you're gonna be punished. But not only do we as and that's in the uninterrupted perfect world, but when you add racism to that point, self-motivation is not enough. We have to have self-preservation as well, right? So that's important to understand that, we've been punished for being motivated and maybe not having the ability or awareness to violently react when we're being, oppressed or transgressed upon. So that's important to understand, right? Also, um, self-motivation is um, doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, and being aware that sometimes subconsciously we're programmed to not feel like it, to not feel like doing something productive.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a puppet master. There's a Geppetto pulling the strings of Pinocchio in the subconscious mind of our brothers and sisters, making us feel like, no, I'll do it tomorrow. Enabling us to procrastinate. So understanding that self motivation is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, and we have to have a a consistent singular focus, even if we're not working together as a whole, as a culture. Every black man, every black woman, every black family should be focusing on building financial freedom, developing financial literacy, having generational wealth. And generational wealth, one generation of wealth is your living expenses times 4 times 12 times 100, with a minimum living expense of 4,500. Also understanding that discipline is taking action without waiting for motivation, right? And we have to start to um, develop these principles and principalities inside of each, black family structure. Also understanding that momentum is important, but small small wins create energy. So when you have a small success, you're gonna start to develop momentum. And if you're consistent with developing momentum, and it will be easy because you make it so simple as I'm I'm going to write an affirmation that was a success. And you start to celebrate your small success, you develop confidence and you develop momentum, and now you're able to change the trajectory of your family. And I got this thing called the 7 minute rule, right? The 7 minute rule. And where you pick one thing, you set a timer, you pick one thing that you've been putting off and you've been avoiding, and you just do it. You indulge in it. No commitment. You detach from results. Just for 7 minutes, whatever you've been putting off in your life, you just do it. And then what happens is you set a calendar. So you say, well, I'm going to do a 45-day challenge. 7 minutes a day, I'm going to do what scares me the fucking most. I'm going to do what I've been putting off just for 7 minutes. And you're not going to worry about the results, whether it's good or not. You're just going to get it done. You're just going to do it. And that's going to develop momentum, but that's also going to help you beat and defeat procrastination. Okay. And it also helps to remove pressure. And then while you're doing it for them 7 minutes, be mindful of my affirmation. My affirmation is start where you stand where you start. Start where you stand where you start. Start where you stand where you start. So you're saying that to yourself. You're thinking about that while you're doing your 7 minutes. And 7 minutes goes by quicker than the fucking eye blink. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of your content says we ought to help. What moment in your own life made you believe that nobody is coming to save us and we got to be our own solution?
I mean, well, it's just being aware, studying, doing research. You got to think. We built cities. We built Black Wall Street. We built, like, think about this, Black Wall Street, right? You're talking about hundreds of black black owned businesses, banks, hotels, theaters. We had doctors, we had lawyers. You had a city generating $30 million a year in that time, over $30 million a year, over $30 million a year in that time,
Mm-hmm.
which was seized, right? Like it was seized. And you're talking about And how did they do it? They did it with mass racial. It was a mass racial massacre, right? Firebombing from airplanes. How the fuck motherfuckers is flying in airplanes, dropping bombs on us, right? Um, and and then the key factor with the government was not only allowing the airways to be uninterrupted, but the insurance claims were denied and there was no restitution. So imagine you got this building, you got insurance, you've been attacked and bombed, and all your employees have been murdered and lynched and hung in front of the building, and they look at you like, yeah, yeah. Not only do we gonna keep your money, we're gonna take your business, but you ain't getting no restitution, no insurance, no nothing, right? Also, think about Rosewood. So it was a movie, right? I don't know if you've seen the movie. You ever seen the movie Rosewood?
No.
You got to see the movie Rosewood. It's very important for you to see this movie, my brother, because it was a completely self-sufficient black. It was a completely self-contained black town. This is right at the tip of the iceberg ending of the so-called ending of slavery, right? And they made a
Mm-hmm.
movie. They made a movie about it. They had Vin Rames, and the movie was supposed to be about this white girl who was cheating on her husband with this white guy, and he beat her, and she said a black man beat her and raped her, and then they came and killed the city. There was no there was a cheating wife, but she wasn't raped, she wasn't beat, she didn't even accuse no black man of rape. And in the movie they didn't talk about all the economic power that Rosewood was developing at the time, also land ownership. So they made a whole movie lying about black people building this lucrative city and getting mass murdered, and they used a forced criminal accusation of rape to justify mob violence and arson, right? Then just a couple more things I want to talk about, right? Boley, Oklahoma. That was a black. They had a bunch of black owned banks and schools, and you know they dealt with infrastructure strangulation, right? So we're talking the water systems, the power grids. They rerouted the fucking railroad tracks so that all the goods and stuff coming into the city couldn't come into the city, right? And as I'm doing research, because I felt like, I'm a fighter by nature. I'm a fighter, right? So I can't deal with a bully too long. I can't stomach a bully. I don't care if you 8 feet tall. I don't care if you're a T-Rex. I don't care if you're a predator and I got a plastic spoon. I'm gonna figure out how to fight back. So I was wondering, like, damn, as powerful, as strong as we are, we never wanted to do for ourselves. We never wanted to build cities. We never wanted to. And then I'm doing this research. I'm like, God damn, even it's a place called Seneca Village, right? This
Mm-hmm.
was a community of black landowners, right? And they were creating land ownership and homeowner coalitions because at the time, that was a big thing because home ownership gave black men voting rights, and we were trying to infiltrate the government so we can start having laws and having our own, in these political positions of power. So they forced evictions and they turned around and built Central Park, and it blew
Mm-hmm.
my mind. Like this is called Seneca Village. This was so what they did was it was legal theft and forced evictions. And if you didn't want to give up the land or sign away the land or whatever, they killed you.
Damn.
And it's funny because when you think about the Central Park Five, those brothers who were exonerated and accused of rape, and they was talking about wilding out and being called savages. Isn't it ironic? Because what they accused those brothers of doing, they did that to Seneca Village. Mass murder, mass theft, mass rapings, right? So, and then these last two cities, right? Wilmington, North Carolina, around 1898. This was a very powerful city because not only did they have a similar amount of wealth in comparison to Black Wall Street, but they were developing political leadership they had a political, I think they had a political development program, and they was getting the leadership in city government. And this was and guess what? White militias, they gave him a coup d'etat, a coup d'etat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a coup d'etat, something like that, right? Coup d'etat, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Coup d'etat,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's when that's when I think coup d'etats is, I think, when they overthrow the government with violence. So they just straight up went in there and murdered all of them. So them brothers were getting political seats. They was getting voted in. They was becoming mayors, governors, and these Klan members said, "Fuck that!" Came in, coup de matata, and killed everybody. Right.
Hey.
So
Mm-hmm.
so there's been a common denominator and a consistent theme with dealing with these white people, man. It's been violence, legal mechanisms, um, infrastructure sabotage, and financial suppression. We talk about redlining, and this is going on to today, where denying insurance, no mortgages, um, and no loans, right? So these are the tactics that were used against us, and the refined, evolved version of these tactics are still being used against us to this day. That's why you see more black men not having their own in comparison to black women, right? And this is strategies they use to destroy the power of the black family structure by removing the black man from being the head of the household, right? So me realizing this shit, like, damn, like, hold up, bro, like, no, man, I gotta get, I gotta get really, really sharp and clever with dealing with these numerous enemies that we have.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's definitely crazy out here. Sheesh. Mainstream media paints black men one way when people see you. What narrative do you hope you're reviving?
I mean, look, man, we're the fathers of civilization, we're the scientists of life, we're the original man. Okay, genetically we're superior. Take it or leave it. I don't give a fuck. You feel the type way, whatever, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the reason why these narratives are being painted is because, and it's lies, right? None of this shit is true. None of this stuff is true. We're the most strongest, powerful, resourceful men on this. We invented everything. We literally invented everything. And I think it's very, very important to 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 note that our um we are the supreme innovators on this earth. We're the supreme. We're like the green little short motherfucking Star Wars. Okay, this is who we are. So, and I'm not worried about an enemy trying to say something nice about me.
Mm.
So you have to understand that, the greatest fear that the white man has is for the black man to realize that the white man is not his friend. Right?
Mm.
And they use media, they use television, they use radio, they use Instagram, TikTok, you name it, to perpetuate this lie, right? Because they want to stay in power. That's all. And we are more powerful. We have power, but in order to have access to that power, we have to start to look into ourselves. This is why cognitive behavioral therapy is so important. This is why meditation is so important. This is why neuroscience is so important. This is why affirmations and mantras is so important. I talked about, having a negative speak fast, right? And understanding, you know, self-defense and how to protect yourself. We trying to protest for liberation when white people has planned our annihilation since the first time we laid eyes on these pink nipple motherfuckers, man.
Mm.
Right? So you talk about league, like, listen, man, we've built cities and those cities were destroyed um by white militias. Now, these same white militias that destroyed hundreds of black cities and towns in the past have now infiltrated the government, the police department, the army, etc., etc. Okay? So we're not gonna be free asking for freedom. We're gonna be free fighting, using violence, using murder, using whatever you name it.
Right.
This is how we're gonna be free, because we weren't enslaved by someone talking. It was physical. So you keep thinking you're gonna get out of some shit, but you ain't get in it that way. You didn't get into slavery. We didn't get
Right.
into bondage with politics and talking. We got we got forced into this shit. Pistols, ropes, knives, dogs, axes, pitchforks, gasoline, tanks, bombs, you name it. And ain't no way we gonna get free using our mouth. Because the white man ain't use his mouth. He used the bullet. You try and use your lips, he try and use the 4.5 with a fully loaded clip. Okay?
That's a fact. Yeah.
And that's why it's important. That's why it's important to have a relationship with God separate from the relationship designed by our oppressor conditioned into us. Because then we'll be fearful. Then you don't want to fight. You keep thinking Jesus turned the other cheek. No, the fuck he didn't. You keep thinking Muhammad is just some old man who don't want no smoke. Right? So we have to practice religion in a way that empowers us and makes us strong enough to protect ourselves, to protect our financial success, and also and search for ways and ideals and systems in the religion that helps or is conducive to our liberation. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shit. Have you ever thought of running for office or anything?
Nah, man, I'm trying to run on the treadmill, man, lose some weight, man. All right.
Well, you motivate people every day. What motivates you when the camera's off and you're fighting your own battles?
Not fighting no battles, man. You gotta be careful, man. Speaking things, life or death is of the tongue, right? So this is me, man. I don't, whether camera's on or camera, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drink my water the same way. I'm gonna eat my potato chips the same way. I'm gonna put my hat on the same way, right? You press record or you press stop, you press on or off. I'm just me, just being myself. And
Yeah, that's
and
what's
and
up.
and through being myself and learning more about myself and falling in love. See, you gotta fall in love with yourself, right? You gotta be in a relationship with yourself first. And I ain't talking no freaky shit. I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
like internal. You have to really, really enjoy. I'm my best company, man. I love being with myself, right? And the more I learn about myself, the more I start to love myself more. Because I'm learning more. So I'm learning more. It's more to love. Yeah, okay. Right? So yeah.
All right. You call this movement beautiful violence. What does that mean for your community, your purpose, and your legacy?
See, you misquoted me. Beautiful Violence is the boxing, man. I'm just saying, I'm kicking ass and looking good while I'm doing it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Muhammad Ali said, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Huh?
Okay, okay. I got you. All right.
So
If
I,
you,
s- so
huh?
I swear, so I swear, damn, I was trying to put some shit together, man. You didn't fuck me up. But yeah, I'm like, man. Yeah, yeah,
You about
yeah.
to get on your freestyle. You about to freestyle real quick?
Yeah, I swim, some shit I was trying to say, you know what I mean? But
If you
yeah.
had the ear of every young black man in America for 30 seconds, what truth would you?
Fast as lightning. Fast as lightning. I can conquer any man. I'm the one that they was forced to pass the torch to, even when they couldn't see my hand. Because it wasn't up to them. It was God's plan. It's God's plan. Yeah, but yeah, beautiful violence thing is, it's just about my boxing, man. Like, being having rhythm in the ring and,
Okay,
being able to float and dance and move and get out of the way of punches and you know what I mean?
got you. My bad about misquoting that. But if you had the ear of every young black man in America for 30 seconds, what truth would you tell them that the world is scared for them to hear?
See,
You
you
pretty
gotta
much
stop.
already told it
No,
pretty
no,
much.
no, no. You gotta stop being cynical, right? So it's not about the world. We first of all, we don't care how the world feels about educating or enlightening or waking up some of the sleeping giants that we
Mhm.
have in our community, right? Or in our nation, or right. So that's just, we got to word that differently, my dear brother. Secondly, it's just very important for us to understand that how you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. Only think about what you want. Forget about what you don't want. Never speak about what you don't have.
Got you, got you. All right, so I hope this question comes out all right. If you could have just focused on your career, but you chose to, you could have just focused on your career, but you chose to teach, motivate, and be visible. What made you decide to carry the community with you instead of leaving them
There you
behind?
go again. There you go again, man. There you go again. You know what I mean? Asking these questions, man. You know what
Did
I
you
mean?
see
Like
these questions?
carry the community and you know what I mean?
But
Of
I
course.
mean, to some, you are carrying the community because you are an individual.
Listen,
You are a
listen,
force.
listen. Humility is a requirement. God requires humility is a requirement required by God for leadership,
Hmm.
right? So this thing where I did this and I'm doing that, that ain't it, man. I'm
So
picking
what
up
is it?
this.
So it's more we're doing it.
It's the collective, man. It's first of all, listen, no, it's a first of all, it's understanding that it's not about leadership. It's about it's about it's about self, right? And then it's about developing that relationship with God. See, the white man got us all confused. This shit is already designed. We supposed to worship God, man, right? We supposed to be, servants of Allah, but we out here trying to be Batman, Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Thor, She-Hulk, Xena. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We trying to be everybody else but servants to God, right? So, you know, my main focus moving forward is just trying to become a better servant to Allah, man. You know what I mean, and yeah, and just trying to navigate that and not caring, if I'm politically incorrect, if I'm answering a question about something like that, right?
Hmm.
I don't care because God is the only opinion that I'm concerned with, right?
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
and for the next generation coming, we have to stop trying to play the game of the colonizer. Okay, it's not about being a leader, being a boss, being a big homie, being a stepper, being a baddie, being a bad bitch. It's about being a servant to Allah, man. And adding value and developing communities and loving your family and loving your wife and loving your husband and being a good father and being a good mother and being a good son and being a good daughter and be right, like these things, right? These things are so simple but so complex for people who are unaware.
True, true. So how do we get to that place where those
If a
simple
motherfucker,
things?
right, there you go. Only think about what you want, forget about what you don't want, never speak about what you don't have. Only think about what you want. Forget about what you don't want, never speak about what you don't have. Now, the miracle, one of the coolest things God does is He has embedded in you your true purpose and what you want. You know what you really want. You know what really will make you happy. You know what really is sustainable for you as an individual, right? So the key to getting to that level is only think about what you want, forget about what you don't want, never speak about what you don't have, but also having the humility to admit to God that you're dumb as fuck, you don't know shit. Hey man, help me, guide me. I just need a little pointing, a little nudging in the right direction.
I understand. I understand that.
Think of it like
So
this. Look, think of it like this. You got a lion that has a vice grip on your neck with his claws. What you thinking about?
mm, getting away from that shit.
Exactly. You on chemo. Look. The doctor says you got 6 days. The doctor says, look, you got 6 days to live, right? You got
Hmm.
6 days. You got 6 days to live. We're gonna give you $6 billion or six doctors that can find a cure.
That can 6 hours that can find a cure, and the cure is going to be. I'm gonna go
We
with.
you
I'm
get
gonna go.
six
I'm gonna
days
go
to
with the
live.
six. I'm going with the six doctors.
Pardon me. Hold on. That's now a cipher. Let me get my numbers. Let me get my numbers right. You got 7 days to live.
Hmm.
You got 7 days to live, or you can, or you got 7 days to live, guaranteed. Doctors, they tell you get your affairs in order. And then another doctor comes and says, hey, guess what? We got a deal for you. We're gonna give you $7 billion or access to seven doctors that can find a cure. What you gonna take?
The one that can find a cure.
Exactly. So that tells you the value of money. There's none. We value life over over money, man. Point blank. Period. Right?
Yeah,
Like
that's true. Yeah,
you sitting there, you got 7 days to live. Give me $7 billion. I mean, or these motherfuckers can figure out like keep the money, man. Keep me alive.
facts.
Right? So we have to start having um a better priority system, and how we prioritize things needs to be prioritized by God, not by man.
I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. It just seems that it's so hard for certain people to get that to want to do it like that.
Yeah, because they disconnected from their father, man.
So how do they get back? How do you even worry about them not
Only
being, or you
only
just
thing about
continue
what
to speak?
it's not my job. You know what I mean? But
Right,
only think about what you want. Forget about what you don't want. Never speak about what you don't have. Only
gotcha.
think about what you want. Forget about what you don't want. Never speak about what you don't have. You weren't. We weren't. We were not created for turmoil. We weren't created for turbulence. We wasn't created for destruction and genocide and murder and poverty. Right? God wants us to be happy. God wants us to be prosperous. God wants us to be fruitful. God wants us to fucking have a life worth living. Right?
Facts.
And God ain't nothing but a cab driver. But you gotta get in the fucking Uber, man. And sit your ass in the back seat like Rosa Parks, man.
Yeah. Uh, Man, I tell you, it's always a deep, a real conversation when you're on, and sheesh.
Oh, for sure.
How can the people find you on social media if they haven't found you already?
Hmm. My daddy gone, my mommy gone, shit a different type of pain. It should have been open arms. Said it was closed doors. My family treat me strange. You supposed to be my brother, but you ain't my brother if you going against the grain. I'm just another star at odds. Yeah, with a telescope. They mad at the space between. Fuck a scoring title, I'd rather take a ring. You ever been so hungry it was hard to think? Huh? Heat won't work. Faucet broke, we taking showers in the sink. Sleep for suckers. I'm going so hard, it's like I'm afraid to blink. Day ones could have fed me, but they stopped me. They ain't do shit for me. I was down bad back against the wall. Plus, I carry receipts. Hey, yo, Hype, people stay close enough to you to make you feel like they apart, but watch them disappear, yeah, when it's time to play their part. You was with me shooting in the gym. You was with me, but you was just with me shooting in the gym. You ain't grab no rebounds. You ain't buy no water, bitch. Don't ask me what I need now. Laughed at me. Now they on my dick. I'm their favorite now. At the dealer, Ferraris on the road. We picking flavors now. It was pennies then. Now I'm really rich. We getting paper now. Fuck a Benz. $1 million cars. Bugattis take the crown. It's a tourbillon. I guess I'm big enough for you to hate me now. You heard me on? Bitch, bitch, bitch. Bitch, bitch, I'm fly as fuck. I think I hate the ground. You heard the song. Don't try to spin no blocks and give me pussy now. Eyes broke, you left me on scene. Why would I want you now? Eyes closed, here can a vision. I got a dream again. Break the curse, age in reverse. I'm 19 again. Time ticking, voice in my mind, screaming we out of time. Cheat code, guard on my side, still in my prime. Oh, Van Sweet, catch diabetes, try and bomb shit. Duct tape, kick down the door. We at your mom's shit. Rent due, no money coming. Got robbed shit. Hunt around, drum in my hand, send you to God, bitch. Cops rush, hop out on corners. They trying to grab dick, body can't, all turned off, but I ain't have shit. Tell them piggies they gotta miss me. I get the bag, bitch. 100 grand, all in a lawyer. Fuck a bad bitch. Lions ain't the king of the jungle. This shit you ration. T-Rex, couple of raptors, they on your ass, bitch. And the devil kicked my ass when I was young. Now I'm old enough to fight these demons. Swinging like Ali, I mean it. $1 billion dreams, I'm scheming. My daddy met mommy, dropped semen, but fuck them both. They should have clipped his penis. Broken home, love from both parents. I never seen it. Mommy getting high in the back room. She beat me for no reason. I waited 10 plus years. I waited 10 plus years. I waited 10 plus years to get up in the spot I'm in. Still not the spot I want. Touch a couple coins, but it's not enough. Hunger pains was real, but it got us up, got caught on the wrong block. So the op shot him up, and the pennies ain't adding up. Dollars won't double. Feds throwing cameras on the drone to watch you hustle. Hoes might fucking suck, but they don't really love you, and your family don't support shit. They just want to judge you. But first you give respect, and then the money, in that order. Because if you don't, when your money low, soldiers won't follow orders. Tents on the Cybertruck so paparazzi can't record us. Yo, dog, but they recording. Big chain, carrots on the piece, but I had bunny ears. I made it out this barrel full of crabs, now I'm a millionaire. My bro did 20, came home. He on his 10th year. Might be free, but feels like he's still in there. And the Fed's paying better than welfare. No, the Fed's paying better than welfare, right? See, y'all's on salary. Block hot touch it, you burn calories. Your vibe ain't matching your smile. I know anatomy. Hoes trying to pass the kitty, but can't scratch me. Old school with the money. I'm with a scratch bee. Car going drive itself. I'm in the back seat. Walter. They know where to find me, man.
Facts. Hey, I got one question for you. Have you and your mom been able to reconcile, or is that possible, or that's not possible?
Dang, that's not even the question I'm interested in right now, my brother.
All right. I mean, because you speak about it in your freestyle, so but that's what it is. But I appreciate you for coming on, and until next time, be blessed, my man.
Peace.